Hello. Didn't see you there. How you doing? Well, here I am trying to create another little adventure. So what are we going to do today? Well, I'm sure you're tired of hearing about trident maples. I'm not going to mention trident maples, well, 3 times. So we're going to talk about crepe myrtles. And if I mention that other name again, I'm in trouble. So anyway, we're going to talk about crepe myrtles. I'm going to show you some stuff that I've been growing for years and years, how I got them, and some of the things that I'm working on. So let's go over here and take a look at some trees that I've already been growing in the ground. See that tree right there? Believe it or not, I guess that's close to 20 feet in the air. I started that from a cutting. As a matter of fact, most of the crepe myrtles I have around here I began from cuttings. And after I get off from work, I would pull up to the roadside in the community and pick up the cuttings from the trees that the I guess you can say the maintenance people had thrown out, were just waiting on them to be picked up. And I would get pieces 10, 6, 8 feet tall, and I mean shoots like you see right there would be cut out of the tops of the trees, and I would take them and plant them into big growing pots, and I would grow them, get them to root over a period of time, and then once they rooted, I'd put them into individual pots, or I'd put some in the ground and let them grow. And I used to sell them as full-grown trees after the roots were well established. Sometimes I'd find places where the trees fused together, and I'd air layer out branches like this piece right here. It's fused together right there. I'd air layer both sides and create a planting. So I've been growing these for well over 30 some years, and they're different sizes. You can see some over there and some there. As a matter of fact, I'm getting ready to, especially these smaller clumps, to dig these out, because I'm planting more of those kind of trees that I can't mention. So this will all change here shortly. As a matter of fact, because I'm not mentioning those trees, this is a place I cleaned out that I'll be putting seeds for those type of trees that I will not mention. And that's another clump of crepe myrtles, and I was growing that on for my bonsai, just as a 3-trunk planting. And oh, what do we have here? They say money don't grow on trees. Well, they make paper out of trees. What's this? Well, the things you're liable to find around this place. People of the Grove. The things that grow in these trees. I wonder what's next. I have to examine this much closer. What about that? Well, at any rate, on to the next thing. We're talking about crepe myrtles, and there's another clump of crepe myrtles right there next to the drive, and pretty soon that bunch is going to be cut out, and the base will be potted up. Some of the upper parts will be, I guess you can say, rooted. So I'll put those in to the ground or a pot, and we'll see what becomes of them. And right here, these are rooted cuttings. I picked these up off the side of the road, and these are what you call natches. They're white flowering crepe myrtles, just your standard crepe myrtle. And I'll be taking the chainsaw to that. Same here. Pretty much all of these flowered this year also. Now these are, like I said, rooted cuttings, and I excuse me one second, I actually just planted them straight into the ground. Once I brought them here, I cut them into sections, you know, and then planted them pretty much right where you see them. This bunch right here, from this on over there, these are rooted pieces that I had and moved to this area, and I've done some carving on them already. You can see there with the chainsaw, and I'll come in here again anytime now and do more carving on these to get a good feature in them. And again, all of these are coming out of here too this year, because the trees that I will not name will be my predominant crop, and every space that I can take up with those is my pleasure. That's what I've been trying to get to for the past 5 years or more, to just predominantly have those other trees all about. And see that stump right there? That's a Crepe Myrtle stump. I'll walk around here. I planted that, I think maybe 4 years ago now, and I got it from 2 trees that were given to me that had been blown out of the ground by a busted water main. We're talking I think it was like a 12-inch water line that broke, and it blew this tree and another tree out of the ground. And so a buddy of mine called me up, "You want some crepe myrtles?" My initial response was, "Nope, don't want any more crepe myrtles, I got plenty." But I took them anyway. So after this stump had been sitting pretty much right here for a month and a half, you know, during the winter, December to January thereabouts, and it had muck and mud on the bottom of it, so that's really what preserved it. I decided, well, let me plant this and see what happened. And when I planted it, it was just the flat that you see right here, nothing else. And all of this has grown, and you can see there, perhaps, yeah, you can see the seed pods over in that direction. Seed pods. Yep. And so it's actually flowering now. It doesn't take very long for the crepe myrtles to flower. So what we're going to do is walk around to see more of the crepe myrtles and even the tree that came from. Hold on. Okay. And this is the tree right here. You've probably seen this in the video when I flat cut this tree, and this one in the black bucket here. I had two trunks or root bottoms that were just sitting around, and the other I just used for planting. As a matter of fact, here's here's the other root, and I just use that as a landscape feature. I don't do anything with it. I had no plans for it, and it's so large anyway. But at any rate, Crepe Myrtles are easy to root, and you can do a lot with them. They're not very, I guess you can say, pliable when it comes to wiring and things like that, because if you get the branches too soon, which the young shoots are hollow, you can probably see the tips right here where you see that. Yeah, they close down as the tree gets older, but when the shoots are very young, they're pretty well hollow all the way through, and so they don't take wiring very well. Yes, it can be done, and you can do a good job of it, but you have to be very cautious. And again, with this plant right here, it has flowered also. It's a nice pink, kind of a reddish tone pink, but I've got a lot of work to do with it. And oh, I guess it's making, what's this? What's this? This thing is cropping up all over the place. Well, I guess it makes for good reading even for the trees. So anyway, we're going to look at some more Crepe Myrtles, like right here. This is just a piece of a stump that was hanging around. I had no particular plans for it, but I wasn't ready to destroy it either. That right there, that pot and this plastic is all there is. That pot is just basically a ring. When I cut down a pot, the ring that remains was there. The plastic is the bag that a broken bag of sand at one of the local hardware store was selling at a reduced price. So I took that bag that they had placed the broken bag of sand in, stuck it inside of the ring, and it makes a pot sitting here on this plastic. So now the roots won't grow into the ground. It has a containment around the soil and the roots, and that's good enough. Just like this tree right here. You see the plastic here? There's no bottom on that. It's just a cut down ring off of the top of a pot that I was using as a grow pot, and I took the bottom away to put another plant in. Well, I lined the ring with the plastic, and boom, there you have it. So this is the other Crepe Myrtle that was blown out of the ground, and initially this stump was really affected by fungus. A lot of punky wood in there right now. I came in and cleaned this out and applied fungicide. So I have 3 living trunks right now, and of course this has bloomed this year also. So they're alive and well. And earlier I was talking about the branches that fuse together on the tree, and then I air layer. That's what this is. It's a Crepe Myrtle, and so I just let it grow, and we'll see how it comes out. Lots of Crepe Myrtles to be seen, lots to be had. I've got Crepe Myrtle right here on a rock. You can see the roots over a rock, and kind of a cascading movement. This was an air layer that I took from a friend's tree. It's a nice trunk. Also right here, root over rock, and the branch moves out that way. So come the spring or whatever, we'll deal with that. And this is going to be a cascade of some sort eventually. Just a little cutting that I stuck in the pot last year just to let it go and let it grow. Right here I have an assortment of, I know there's a lot of weeds in here because I haven't gotten into clean for the winter yet, but there's an assortment of in-pot Crepe Myrtles on the bench here. a lot of crepe myrtles in the pot, and then in the ground right through there are crepe myrtles in the ground. And over here I have a little planting of various sized crepe myrtles that I started from cuttings. So lots of different crepe myrtles, different stages of growth. And even right here in the pots, these are various cuttings. I put this one on a rock to let grow. Got a little wire on this to start it out. Different sizes. This is one crepe myrtle that I'll probably pull from this collection and start working on this year. I went in and hollowed this out. Has some pretty nice features. Nice branching in the upper trunks here and there, and again all of this hollow. Some branches that are low right here on the tree to give a feature on this hollow side and down low, so that would be nice. Big old fat log right here. It's pretty straight, but once I decide if I'm going to use both of these upper branches or just carve it out and use one that will give some movement to it, and it would enhance the look of the tree. But crepe myrtles, various sizes. You can see this right here. That's a huge monster right there. That's a rooted cutting. I think that was, last I thought about measuring that, I think that's about 8-9 inches across, and this is a smaller stump that I rooted. So there you have it. And I think I've had these for about 5 years, a little bit more right now. This trunk and that one also that I had taken from another tree. And this is a root over rock, kind of twisty turny. I did have this as a cascade, but some of these branches kind of petered out on me, and so it wasn't what I'd like for a cascade, and so I just kind of changed my thought there. Okay, right here we have more crepe myrtles in the ground. That was a rooted cutting, and so is that, a rooted cutting. And again, I just pull these pieces off of the side of the road and stuck them straight into the ground right here. This is my persimmon tree, so I really need to get to digging this one up and getting it out of here. But again, persimmon, there's a key lime right there, right there, and there's another. But anyway, I take cuttings. You can see this blue bin right here. These are cuttings from a crepe myrtle. Lots of twisty turny. I figured I'll see what I can do with the features in those, and kind of obscured there, but this bin right here, more cuttings of crepe myrtles, and I just stick them into plain sand, dirt, whatever, and we'll see what develops from that point. Okay, hold on. Alright, right here, these are some more crepe myrtles that I planted out some years ago, and you can see the twisty turn right here. I've got a wisteria vine right here. It's supposed to be a pink wisteria. It blooms intermittently. When I bought the wisteria, I knew that this is not the zone for it, but I figured, well, if I do get enough cold hours intermittently, that it might bloom. And it has bloomed. The wisteria, it has bloomed on and off for the past 10 years or so. So it's, you know, and when it blooms, it's a beautiful wisteria. It's not the old purple that I have around here, or even the white. I actually bought it as a pink, but it didn't turn out that way, not quite, but it's still a pretty color. More crepe myrtles right here, and you can see the movement in the trunk. Perhaps, you know, you can see some of the features, my tools and sticks notwithstanding. You can see the base of that trunk. So pretty soon these will be coming out of here, and some of the pieces will be cut and rooted, but of course the base will be dug and regrown for the top. So and then of course I've got crepe myrtles lining this walkway. You can see the various stumps in here, and a lot of this stuff is punky right now because I let it just go on its own to develop the way it's going to develop, and then I take it from that point and do something with it. I was kind of picking and pulling on this the other day to see how punky this wood is, and I broke a lot of it off just with my hand. So pretty soon I'll be breaking out the chainsaw and getting a hold of these crepe myrtles, and this whole thing is lined with crepe myrtles, 2 rows right here. And again, a lot of these are actually recent rooted cuttings. I will grow the plant that I will not name. You can see some of them there, from seeds, but there's no way I'm going to grow a crepe myrtle from a seed. They're just not that valuable or important as the tree that I will not name. So for me, growing crepe myrtles from seeds is not necessary. It's not important, and it's not going to give me anything unusual. So I can take tiny small cuttings if I want, like this. If I need something that's flexible, that I'm going to, you know, wire into a certain shape, or to have young tender roots to go over a rock, or to make a tanuki with. Not that I really would make, I'd make an auto tanuki. In other words, if I got a trunk on a plant and the trunk is dead up high, but it has roots down low and shoots coming out, I would take a branch from that and bring it up along that trunk, and I'd preserve the trunk. But other than an auto graft, I wouldn't do anything else with the crepe myrtle. So I use big cuttings, medium cuttings, small cuttings, but I wouldn't do seeds. It's just not worth it. The same with elms. They're so hard to collect, it's unbelievable. Now, I'm going to show you a failure. This tree right here, that's huge. I dug that tree, put it into a container, and I couldn't get it to go. It just wouldn't start. And I guess my failure was that I did not water it enough. You know, I wasn't at home all of the time, and I really didn't spend the time with it. But I knew the plant really wasn't totally dead. So that's 2.5, 3 feet across there. I planted this here as a shelf, knowing that there are root pieces down there that would send out shoots, and sure enough, I've got these shoots coming out from the base of this tree. And so eventually what I'll do is, once these shoots here gets large enough, I'll come back and I'll cut them down to 12-18 inches, somewhere in there. I'll cut this log off with the chainsaw, and what I'll have is the rooted base of this that I'll develop something from the rooted base. Okay, you can see right here, that's part of the root. You can see the base through that. So all of this will be dug up again, and then I'll do something with it. And that's just a rooted piece of a crepe myrtle. This is a plant that I had just started a couple of pieces of cuttings that I stuck in the ground, and I kept cutting it back over the days and years, and eventually this is what I got. Okay, we're going to see some more. And this is another crepe myrtle that I planted in the ground over time, and as you can see here, had another vine to grow around that. So eventually I'll take this off and to make a feature with it, and that's pretty tall. And the thing with this is just really straight, no real feature to it, but I'll find some good in it, and I'll do something with some of these parts as I reduce the number of crepe myrtles and trees that are not the trees I will not name. So let's go around here, and as a matter of fact, see all these pots back here? Crepe myrtles, all of those crepe myrtles. For the majority of them, crepe myrtles. There are some pyracantha, like that brown pot, and 1, 2, 3, 4 pots, those are pyracantha. But for the majority, these are crepe myrtles that I dug up from the front of the property. And even right here, a lot of these plants in these gallon pots, crepe myrtles that I dug up. And all of these are due to roots resprouting in the ground after I dug a tree up. So if you're going to be moving crepe myrtles or digging around your crepe myrtles, just know they will sprout up roots or shoots from the cut pieces of your roots. So if you're going to dig up a crepe myrtle, do your best to get all of the roots up, and you'll be okay. They'll die out eventually if you keep mowing them down. And this is one of my project area to come take these trees out, crepe myrtles. But this trunk right here is a trunk I'm very interested in to take out and to create a bonsai with. So trunks fused together makes a nice feature, and I've been studying this for a while. You can see right here where this trunk came across and fused right in there, and then the other trunk grew that side, and of course they fused together, and it's such a good job. And of course you have the opening in between them, natural from its fusing together. So I'll do something with this, and the height of it and whether I keep both trunks above the fusion is an issue, because my first inclination is to just make this the apex and trim that out, but we'll see. To help the plant to survive, I'm thinking both plants or trunks need to be left intact. Plus it actually adds to the future, and you can see the fact that you have a trunk over here with its apex, and then the fuse part over here. So again, stuff to do. Hold on. And there's the demonstration tree from the flat cutting of the Crepe Myrtle, and you can see all of the growth since I did that flat cutting. I'm letting them grow to thicken up to create the new apex. So again, there was no rush to do anything with this tree except to keep it alive, to feed it, and to let it grow. So you can see how it's twisted, kind of like that other tree I just showed you, except there's no opening at the bottom. And of course, when I come back in here, depending on which of these upper branches is the major and stronger, I'll cut it down to that point. And more than likely, this is going to be the associate branch, which, as you can see, kind of leads away from that. So I'll be looking for branches to lean out and away from the feature like that. Okay, and then this lower section of branches, I'll rework that. But again, I'm just looking for strong apex growth, and then we'll go from that point. And it's kind of looking like this is my point of where I'll be reducing this, because again, I don't really want this to be very much taller. And then this little jewel right here, Crepe Myrtles. And by the way, I didn't stage these plants to do this video, so you kind of see me going from here to there, hither and yon. Some of my associates say, I don't see how you can remember all of these plants and all of the stuff you did with them and where you got them and when. Hey, you remember your children, don't you? You know what you associate with. So in that light, I remember a lot of it, but I don't remember them all. And this plant, of course, I'll be coming back and carving on this thing, and of course I'm anticipating some good growth in these two branches this season to come. And you can, if you see this plant in older videos, you'll see that it was more upright, and now it's leaned over a lot more. I'm liking the lean. A lot of times I'll have plants that fall over or to lean over, and I leave them right where they are so that they can create their own character naturally. And I'll give you an example of what I'm talking about on a natural feature. Look at this. This is a Japanese maple. I leaned this pear tree stump against this when I cut it, and you can see how that is bent around that stump now. The stump is yes, kind of heavy, but as the tree grew over the past year and a half, it started curving toward the sun, which is, the sun is that way in the rising, and it kind of tracks across this way. And so the plant has the open area up top. It has the weight of that stump on it, and so the plant just keeps growing. And you can see that curve develop in that. So it's just a natural feature now to this particular tree because of that stump leaning on it. You've seen trees grow through fencing and things like that. You've seen those crazy pictures where a tricycle is stuck in a tree, or some other crazy object over time is stuck in a tree. Well, it's the growth of that tree and the power of life. So anyway, those were some looks at Crepe Myrtles. I still have a Crepe Myrtle that I didn't show you, but it was pretty much the first Crepe Myrtle that I brought here, which is one my daddy gave me. It was my mom's tree. She was not happy, but she still lets me come around to the house and visit. That's a bucket of cuttings that I just placed in there to see what happens. Nothing special, but over time I'll cut these tops back and do some carving and trimming, and then we'll see what happens. You know, Crepe Myrtle, I'll take a cutting and put it into the ground, and then I'll keep cutting it back and whacking on it, and then I'll get something different and unusual. I'm going to show you this Crepe Myrtle here. I keep thinking that I need to dig this up. This is just another tree that I started from a cutting years and years ago, and I've taken air layers off of it, large ones, small ones. So that's a nice base. It has some nice thick upper trunks. So what shall I do? And you can see those shoots there. And even if I didn't bonsai them, I could give them to my friends, folks that want to have Crepe Myrtles, you know. And of course, I've mentioned before that I've got, I guess you can say, someone that I'm teaching how to grow plants and whatnot, so that they can sell regular plants to augment their retirement. You know, hey, it never hurts to help somebody. So anyway, there's always something that can be done. Hold on one more second. And this right here, really at the back of the property, got lots of ivy growing up, oak trees, cherry laurels, and so it's kind of inhibited. But this is the tree my daddy gave me that kind of belonged to my mom, but she forgave me. And hey, it's been a pretty good tree. But again, I just take cuttings here, take cuttings there, and plant trees different places, like this Crepe Myrtle clump right here in front of my little greenhouse. Has some nice movement in some of the branches. Those could be either air layered out or just cut and rooted. This is a lavender Crepe Myrtle right here that I will probably put the sawzall in there and take out a piece of that root, that clump, and start working on that, because I really do like that lavender color. And here is my bonsai hut. I need to get this thing going because I'm out here freezing right now, and I need a place to work when it's not a good thing to be outside working. So but anyway, at some point we're going to talk about even figs. Yep, Ficus carica, your common figs. These are likely to be brown turkey figs that I've grown from cuttings and such over the years. But there's always something that you can use for your bonsai. And right now, I'm saying try Crepe Myrtles. They're easy to grow from cuttings. They're easy to propagate from air layers. If you want to start them from seeds, you can start them from seeds also. Crepe Myrtles. Easy to come by, easy to grow. Thanks. See you later.